Well, hello, mancavers. What are we doing today? Sorry you guys didn't get a video last night, i.e. Friday night. Was going to record one yesterday, but turns out an emergency sort of, 7-hour road trip. But, what was it all about? You haven't seen this yet. Mancave dropped onto another trailer. So, we got a nice trailer, but she didn't come without her problems. She was missing a wheel. So yes, we got a nice 4-wheel trailer that was sold at auction as a 3-wheel trailer. It weren't just the wheel missing, it was the brake drum, it was the bearings, it was the whole kit and caboodle. All what was left was the shaft. Anyhow, yesterday, me and Rachel could not find one of these brake drums anywhere. I rang up the manufacturer that sold it new. I rang up several other companies, none of them could help me. And finally, with much Googling, I found a company in Worksop. Of all places, Worksop. Towing Trailers or something they were called. I looked on their website and I thought, that looked like the drum I need. You'd think a drum would be easy, but this is a 4-stud, 4-inch PCD drum. Most of them I could find were 5.5-inch PCD. Not big enough, 5.5-inch 5-stud. No, wouldn't work. We needed 4-inch PCD. Surprising because it's a big heavy trailer. But there you go. Anyhow, I thought, instead of ordering this thing, it turning up and it's wrong, because it says it's for something totally different, I thought, sod it, I'll drive up, get it. I did do a video of when I went up there, not the road trip, but the little bit of workshop I went to was by a canal and very nice. I'll put that footage in a minute. But here is the brake drum in question. We have a new brake drum, new wheel nuts, and what we got to do, fit the bearings in this brake drum, go put it on the trailer. So guys, here is the brake drum. Now then, the trailer was a James trailer. So I rang Brian James, have you got brake drum for a 2016 AMAX? No, he says, unavailable. And I was like, oh poo, why are these unavailable? The main dealer can't even get them. I thought, I now know why the guy has sold this trailer, because you can't get the bit. But I had a little scout about on the internet, and then I shinned underneath and see who actually made the axles. Because I thought, I'm sure James don't make the axles. So I shinned underneath, and the plate on the axles, it actually says axles of Bolton. So I did research on axles of Bolton and couldn't really find nothing. It kept coming up with in suspension. And I thought, how strange. Anyhow, found this drum, which was, listed as in suspension drum. I thought, I'm not going to risk, because this was very expensive, believe it or not, horrendously expensive for a brake drum. I thought, instead of, getting it sent, find it's wrong, then I got to post it back. I said to Rachel yesterday morning, spur of the moment, do you fancy a ride up to Worksop? Are you feeling up to it? She said yes. So we had a little drive up Worksop. And it was very pretty up there, so I have done a little photo around the canals of Worksop, a little video. I'll drop that in when we got this bearing done, then we'll fit all this on a trailer. I don't want to teach you guys to suck eggs. A lot of you probably know how to fit taper bearings. But basically, this bearing has to go in here. So we're going to tap in this outer sleeve. Some people do the old put these in the freezer trick to shrink them and blah blah. But to be honest with you, you can tap them in with a socket. So we need to get that bearing in that end. And then this bearing, look at the stuff, brand new drum, and look, brand new drum, and it's got rust in it. But there you go. And then this one, has to come in this side. So we need to push these right back home. And yeah, we should be alright. I've got to find something to go over this because I haven't got a socket big enough to go over. We'll get her in, guys. We'll get her in. So we need to put that one in there. And then the other one in the front. Alright, this is quite straightforward. There isn't too much complicated about putting a bearing in. You basically put your inner bearing, the inner race. You make sure it sits, lift him out, and then you push this in square. Now what you can do is find a socket what goes exactly over it, which we've got here, and a hammer, and simply tap it. Making sure the damn thing goes in there square. Because if you get it cockeyed, that's going. You'll hear when it goes because the note of the hammer will change. And I can feel it. I think that has gone home, guys. And then once you've hammered him in there, make sure he's gone in square and level and he's right down on his mating face. Which he is, I can see in the back, that has pushed right home. Now, I don't have a socket this big. I don't want to get grit in them bearings because they're brand new bearings. So I'm going to have to, you can, if you're careful, tap round, but if you damage this edge, it's game over. That bearing has had it. So it really isn't a good idea to tap. Let me find something what will go over that. Right, guys, that has got that inner race in. I ended up having to find a sprocket what went over because that first little arrangement I had, that stupid little hub thing, it just weren't strong enough, guys. It started bending, so I had to get something a bit more solid. But I found one of these sprockets that went straight over, and we got him hammered in. So that's this part. There we go. So that's this part of the operation done. I'm going to drop in the footage of the workshop canal now. Please don't go anywhere. It's 10 minutes and it's definitely worth a look. Yes, it's workshop, but it is definitely worth a look. So we'll put that in. Then we'll be outside where we'll pack these two new bearings with grease and get them fitted on the trailer. Ah! Well, mancavers, no microphone today. We've had to make an unscheduled stop to pick up a brake drum of all things from here. In fact, I went to that building, the yellow building. You can see the other side of that hedge. That is Trailer Spares in workshop. Weren't going to bother filming it, but I was in there, got the brake drums, said to the guy, anywhere nice we can come have something to eat. I mean, we're talking workshop. And yeah, the guy said, well, just over the mini roundabout, there's a chain pub there. Get some reasonable price grub. Because Mrs. Mancave's come with me. She is currently sitting up there, look. There she sits on the riverbank. Wherever she got shoes off. We're having a look. You know, I thought, you know, I don't normally sort of film little outings on this journey. I really don't. But I thought, you know, we'll film the locks. because a lot of you guys, this is probably nothing new, but for us old Norfolk boys, we don't have canals in Norfolk. And I thought, you know, I'm going to film it in case wherever you're from, you don't have canals there either. Oh, crikey, there's some elevation here with these locks. There we go, we have some locks. We have a little spillway going down the back there. Lock here. What's the elevation difference? So we have here, oh, and then we're down in there. There we go. I can't remember what canal this was. Oh, I looked up a little while ago. I said to Rachel, I wonder if this is the River Trent. It ain't the River Trent, it's the something canal. I'll drop it in. There we go. We've even got a ladder. Dare I hold the phone over the water? There we go. Now on me, I'll drop it. Well, there's another. There's some elevation here. We've now got another lock. And there we go. Who would have thought Worksop has a pretty little bit like this? There we are. There we go. So we're down to the other lock. I do like the brick stanchions here. There's probably a name for these brick stanchions, but I believe you push on them, you use them as leverage to shove the lock gate open and closed. But we are here. Now there's that little spillway, it comes round the back and then exits here. There we go. So I don't normally film this sort of thing, but you know, it was 139 miles from ours to here. And I thought, you know, let's get a video of it. Let's get a video of where we've had to bloody come to get a brake drum. And you're saying, can you get a brake drum anywhere closer? Well, no, I can't get a brake drum anywhere closer. I tried everywhere in Norwich. I tried Cambridge. I tried Ipswich. I tried Kings Lynn. Nobody did a brake drum. I even tried James themselves, and they said, ha, that's where we went, towing trailers, look, there we are. We're right at the back of their building. So I've just been in there and got a brake drum. What's this little bit here? So yeah, that's where we come in Worksop. Now I must admit, very helpful people. Not a sponsored video whatsoever. I don't even think they knew I did YouTube. I didn't even mention it. Wow, lovely little footbridge. Do you know, they keep this canal quite nice. Oh yeah, there's no water going through there. Look, we've just got a little empty bit. Maybe that's in case the water level rises. Maybe that's a runoff. Ain't got a clue. There we go. There's people fishing. Oh, yeah, lovely little footbridge. There's some graffiti. What we got here? Well, there's a little car park. There's people parking there. A little old back road here. There you go. Surrounded by main roads. Right, there you go. Anyway, we're going to walk back up. Anyhow, guys, I'm dropping this in the video where we're going to be doing well, at the minute, we're doing a brake drum and wheel bearing on a trailer, because I dropped onto this trailer with only 3 wheels. So there was a wheel and a brake drum and wheel bearings missing. And yeah, we've just managed to pick them up. So we're now going under, I don't know what road this is, A57 perhaps. I remember we came in on the A57, but I don't know. Anyhow, thought I'd just drop this little bit in. Let's get back to doing this bloody wheel bearing. Ah! So yeah, if you do ever come to Worksop, I will just add this a little bit. I'll give them a plug. It's only an old Marston's pub. It's only a chain pub, nothing special. But it's a pub called the Lock Keeper. And when you sit in the beer garden of the Lock Keeper, that's up near that life buoy. Opposite this boat up there. And you can actually go through some steps into the pub beer garden. So you can come out here. You can come out here and you can have a look around the lock. So yeah, if you're ever in or about workshop and you fancy somewhere nice to sit, then there you go, you can do that. You can come to the Lockkeeper pub. I think we're going to have a little bit of grub while we're here, because that's now about 5 o'clock Friday afternoon. So we've got to go home down the A1, which will be alright. I think I'm going to go down the A1 and then pick up the A11. I came a totally different way. When I came here, I actually went down to Market Wisbech Peterborough, picked up the A1. But it's a bit of a crappy way from ours to Peterborough, so it may be a couple of miles further, but I believe it will be just as quick if I rattle straight down the A14 or the A1, A14, M11 to Thetford, and then we're nearly home. But there you go. So yes, if you're ever out this way, there's the pub, the Lockkeeper. Definitely worth coming. I say it's only, I think that's a Marsden's pub or something, Hungry Horse, something like that. But yeah, very nice. Right, there sits Rachel. There she goes, she's waving. Right, we'll have a look round there. Outside, let's have a look. We've walked from this lock. There's the other lock back up there. Look where we've just come from, where them cars are going over. Got another little spillway here, and there's quite the elevation drop. Hello, Rach. There's quite the elevation drop when you come under the natty little bridge here, where we've got an echo. Aha! But I do like the old structures. I mean, this is a deep lock, very deep. We come up the steps. There we go. There we go. So literally, that is how close the pub is. There's the beer garden in there. But look at the height difference between your river. I mean, there's about what, a foot difference there, I think. There's our canal. There we go. We have a canal there. So this one would have to be opened first, which would fill this one about another foot, I suppose. But there's a hell of a difference. I can just imagine the amount of water pressure which is currently on these gates, because you wouldn't believe how big a drop there is the other side of this bloody thing. I mean, we're not talking a little drop. We're talking, if I hold the camera, look at that bugger. I mean, this may not be giving us any sense of how high this water is, but believe me, it is high. It is very high. Do I dare myself to walk out? Yeah, I'm not. I'm holding on for grim death. I'm not going to walk out on that, because that looks like there's a bit of woodworm, and I don't like heights. So this is as close as I'm getting to the edge. There we go, bridge 41, look. There we are. Marvellous. So, it says deep lock, and there's a reference number. Canal and River Trust. There we go. Lock 47. And this is a deep one. Look at that bad boy. Ding-a-ding-a-ding-ding-ding. Yep, she's a big lock. Marvellous. Right, now we are going to get back to fitting this stupid wheel bearing. Ah! So guys, we are back here. And as you can see, we have nothing. It was originally disassembly the other side that was missing, but to make sure the stub axle and stuff like that wasn't damaged, what I did was I took all the bearings and drum off this side and put on the side where it was missing to make sure it all fitted and there was no damage, which there wasn't, so that's good. So one of the first things to do is clean all this old one off, take the castle nut off then. There we go. I have been through these brakes a couple of days ago, but we just want to make sure where that seal goes on the back, everything's clean. As I did go over these brake shoes the other day to make sure they were spotless, because what this seal does is this seal goes up against the back. Alright, so we do need, there you go, that seal's on the back there, look. That really is quite good. We'll put a little bit of grease everywhere just to make sure. We want a bit of grease on that back seal so that's not gone on there dry. You do not want to put your rubber over a dry shaft, so always use lube. There we go, guys. So that's that bearing on, but we need to pack this with grease, which involves a handful of grease. Christ, I'm nearly running out of grease, and you gotta rub this grease right in to this bearing. Not just slide it around the outside, I mean work it right in. Yes, this is a disgusting job, hence why I'm wearing the fairy gloves. So you got to pack this grease in all these rollers. Both bearings. And when you can see it like squidging out the roller, you know you're half close. So just work its way in. And really pack this bearing out with grease. There we go. We should have loaded this bearing now, so clear the centre shaft out, put him round the outside, and then you can work it in your rollers, like so. There we are. And then we can get this bearing. Why is there a bit of glove on there? Look, get off. We can put this bearing. Shouldn't have to push these. They should be a fit where they just push over. There we go, like that. Alright, now we have one packed bearing. You'll feel it's packed because when you turn it, you'll feel a bit of resistance. And you won't hear that metallic roll. Do you know what I mean? So plenty of grease around that bearing. There you go. Right, same now with this little bearing. You need to pack him, because you'll notice that you'll hear a little metallic roll if these bearings aren't done enough. And that is not what you want. There we go. So pack this bearing in. There. Get it in the back as well. We can get it in the back of this one. There you go. I'm turning it and I can feel resistance. So this is packed with grease. Yeah, I hate greasy hands, guys. Right. So we can now put a little bit of grease on this inner race. There we go. There's our inner race. We can pack that with grease. The drum is clean. Get that drum on. The brake seems nicely adjusted. I say, grease is your friend when you're fitting bearings like this. It really is. So pack a load of grease around where them bearings go. There you go. There you go, guys. Now we can put it on. Alright, we might have to line that drum up a little bit. Come on. Just make sure your bearing does. Oh yeah, it goes over, look. So we ain't got a problem with the bearing, it does go over. Just a case of lining it up. There you go, she's gone home. And there we are, guys, our bearing has gone home. Oh, I've got to grab the washer. It's around the other damn side, look. There we are. Alright, here we go, guys. We have a washer, go over there. We have the castle nut, go over there. There we are. Alright, I'm going to take these gloves off. And I'll show you how you pre-tension these bearings. Because a lot of people are like, well, how do you do it? There is a technical way of doing it, which is you do them up to 70 Newton meters, spin the wheel a couple of times, and then, oh, I've got totally the wrong size socket. There you go. You spin the wheel a couple of times, and then you back them off and do them finger tight. So we're going to do this up to 70 Newton meters. Right, starting to push the drum in. Right, that's starting to go tight. Now I can't turn it because the bearings are tight. So we go to the about 70 Newton meters, about there, and then you back it off so that's loose, and then you tighten these up. All that initial 70 do is, that's too greasy, I can't turn it, but you can see the weight of the ratchet is nearly doing the job. So you want a little bit of a turn until we can get our split pin in. Oh, that's too tight, we've got to find the other hole back. Ah, we're starting to go in. Yeah, that nut is loose. Look, you can turn up your hand, look. I really should have used a new split pin, shouldn't I? we're going to cut this while I go and get a new split pin, not this knurled up old thing. Back in a minute. So guys, we are back with a new split pin. I know what you're going to say, this nut is loose. Well, yes it is, because if we went the next hole up, there you go, if we went the next hole up, that would be too tight. Let me show you. You can only go a certain amount of detents. You know, that might be alright the next hole up. That is fine. So, there you go. We are done. We can cut that split pin off there. That one off there. Tap him home. Tap this back one backwards. There we go. That is not going to come undone. And that is how you preload and fit a new wheel bearing. Put some grease in our grease cap. I don't have a glove on, so I'm going to have to do this by hand. One of the worst jobs ever. So we'll put some grease all around this lot. This does one of two things actually. It also, if any water ingress gets through this cap, because they're only sort of friction fit, there's no seals on them. So if any water gets through this cap, it won't get too far in because you've got grease in. But there you go. There we go. White pans, then just tap in. Our grease cover. And there we are. We have the new bearing fitted. I think we can be dropping the wheel back on with my greasy fingers on these lovely new wheel studs. I'm just going to put any residual grease on these threads. And that should hopefully stop these threads like seizing in there, rusting in. They shouldn't do. A lot of people use copper grease. If you're wondering, there's grease around the outside of this drum. Oh, there's a lovely bit of grease on here, look. There is grease on the outside of this drum. That dust cap's not gone in there right. We'll get him in. I'm just going to rub this grease around this face, which will stop this drum rusting and hopefully stop the wheel corroding onto the drum. Hopefully. Right. Let us pick it up so we don't get a puncture. Let us get our wheel on. Yeah. There we go. There we are. So yes, it turns out the axles, which are the make of the axle on this, was actually a trading name used by Suspension, in Suspension. So yes, you can get the bits for these. So these brake drums are in Suspension drums. The dust cap is Alco, and all the brakes are Alco. So weigh that up. For one hub assembly, you have 3 different manufacturers, guys. Don't you just love these sort of things? Why would they put three different makes of things on a trailer? But there you go, they have. But we've got it sorted. Hey. Right, once your wheel's down, we can torque it up. Get your wheel and wiggle. You shouldn't have any play in there at all. Then that sounds perfect. Jack down. Come on, Jack. There we go. And there we are, guys. Our trailer wheel is on. Isn't this excellent? Ah. Right, you can probably see on the trailer there's a rear light. So guess what I've got to do next? The simple reason is this light lens has a crack down here, and it's let a bit of water in because the indicator and brake light only work if you go wiggling bulbs. On a trailer like this, you don't want to have to wiggle bulbs. But what I do like is I got a brand new light for about 25 quid. I like how it's plugged, so you don't have to rewire the whole light. You just undo this plug here. Oh, you can do it with a pair of pliers. You just twist that loop quarter a turn, and this all pulls out, and there's a multi-plug. What plugs on there for your lights. And if you wonder what that one's for, that's for a marker light. But I don't know whether this has got it or whether that's been wired separate. But look at that. This is the thing with factory trailers, guys. When you get a trailer, not like my old Hubmed Bessie over there, when you get a trailer that's factory made, everything's nice. You've got the proper steady legs. Everything's wired right. And you guys who know will know that a factory trailer tows so much better than anything else. When you get one what's actually built in a factory, especially a good brand like Brian James, these are basically king of the hill when it comes to trailers. You know, and this will do anything we ever want to do. It'll carry vintage tractors. I did look on the spec plate, and I think it's a 2.7 ton. So we can get anything we want on there. It's, what size is this? It's 16 by 6. Was that 16 by 6 or 14 by 6? 14 by 6. It's a 14 by 6. So yeah, we've got plenty of room on here. So yes, that is it. I don't suppose you guys want to see me putting a damn rear light in. But there you go. I thought I'd show you the trailer. So, with deep regret, if any of you guys are after a reasonable trailer, like my old trailer, you've seen this. You've seen I've done the wood. We've put new tyres on it. She is a good trailer. She's 13 by 5.5. It's held the grey Fergie, no problem. It really hasn't. I've had the grey Fergie on there with 2 engines, so we've had, you know, probably 1.7 ton on here. She don't go down, she don't sit low, and she tows fantastic. I simply got that one because it's a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and basically it's a Brian James, so it's a no-brainer. But if any of you guys did want this at a very reasonable price, it'll be the cheapest big trailer, which is fully working and usable, you'll find. Honestly, we have new marker lights on there, new rear lights. The winch will not come with it. I am taking the super winch off, and it's going on the front of that one. So yes, if any of you guys do want this nice old trailer, you can pick this up and guarantee you'll tow it anywhere. She tows absolutely lovely with or without the weight, but it's just, I had a chance of an upgrade. I had to do it. Right, that's going to be it. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye for now. Mustn't forget to torque that wheel nut up. Aha!